What's up guys, BrunsNick's back and it's time for another SPECTO comparison. Today I'll be comparing the Brunswick Infinity versus the Radical Outer Limits. Two asymmetrical hybrid bowling balls with very similar numbers, but one has hyperkinetic and the other one does not. I'm going to get these out on the lanes at different angles and try them out and see what they do side by side. Before we get to all that, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Now let's see the Brunswick Infinity versus the Radical Outer Limits. All right, comparison time once again. We got this brand new Brunswick Infinity and we're going to compare it to Radical Outer Limits. Asymmetrical balls, hybrids, gonna be a good comparison I think. Numbers wise, they're pretty close. A little bit higher RG with the Infinity, a little bit lower intermediate. The differentials are identical. Identical. All right, we're gonna try them in different zones. Let's go heads up one by one. I brought the Outer Limits back to box, and this one's right out of box as well. So there's slight difference there that we'll talk about too. All right, we're off and running. Kind of what you expect from a nice control hybrid ball like that, Infinity. Just strong from the straight angles. Now let's see what Outer Limits does. So we talked about surface prep, and I'll talk about it again here after I throw this shot. Straight angles, side by side. Let's take a look at the SPECTO data.
In the first shot, the ball speed and laydown board was slightly different, creating the outer limits to go longer and further out on the lane. This resulted in about 2.5 boards more overall hook. Entry and impact angles were almost identical, but the outer limits was out of energy at the pins.
Looks like may have gotten just a little bit fast with that first one with Outer Limits, but you know, when you're playing the straighter angles between these two, probably not going to see a whole lot of difference between them. You know, surface-wise, so they're both finished at 2,000, but there's one extra step in the Outer Limits. It goes 500, 1,000, 2,000, instead of skipping those grits. So it goes from 500 to 2,000 on the Infinity, which actually gives it a little bit more surface texture. All right, we're going to move 5. Start giving it a little swing here. Woo! Keeping it nice in and tight. I don't think that one got out past like 8 board. Just trying to keep it on a direct line there from playing these straight angles. So we'll try to repeat that and do it with Infinity. All right, colors, beautiful. You know, Outer Limits has been real popular. Infinity now is just starting to get out there on tour. I know Brianna Clemmer used this ball quite a bit. That was a good comparison shot there. Let's see those two side by side. And of course, let's check out the SPECTO data.
In the second shot, these were thrown almost identical, as you can see by the graph. With nearly identical numbers across the board, the main glaring difference was how the Outer Limits went through the pins compared to the Infinity.
All right, now just by my eyes there, very close to one another, almost on top of each other without looking at the data. I'll look at it after the fact. But side by side, these balls are very impressive. One another, very close to one another, as I thought they would be. So the other question that comes in is, you know, the intermediate differential on this ball is 0.10 versus 0.14. So those are on the lower end of intermediate differential. So when you see that kind of number that low, you're going to see typically a little bit more continuation and back end because the hook window is going to be slower. It's going to be a little bit more controllable and a little bit more through the pins. All right, we're moving 5 more with the Infinity. get into another zone here. Okay. Swung that out pretty good there. I think that was probably out to about 5 or 6 board. So we'll try to do the same thing with outer limits. Send it out to the outer limits and see if we don't see a little something different or if we see the same, because that ball got back but didn't quite go through the pins. We'll see if this one does. Well, kind of the same thing. Let's check them out side by side and look at the SPECTO data.
In shot 3, the outer limits was thrown with a little more launch angle, resulting in about a 1.5 boards difference in breakpoint position. This resulted in about 1.5 boards more overall hook, but you can see the outer limit starts rolling more forward as indicated by the impact angle versus the entry angle, and deflects more at the pins.
Yeah, they're both very close to one another. Outer limits didn't quite finish as much, but I think I maybe got that out a little bit further right. But I think we're starting to see that these two balls are actually a lot closer than I was about to think when we first started. All right, we're gonna move 5 more. This will be the last spot in the lane here that we try these out on. Nice slow swing. Okay, great shot there. We're gonna try to keep everything the same. Throw the Infinity there, and then we'll wrap it up with some final thoughts. If I had a prediction on this one, I'm gonna say they're gonna be right on top of each other. That's my guess. I don't think I've seen anything super surprising, or I'm just like, you know, whoa, you know? I think maybe the outer limits is a touch cleaner. That's about it. That's got to be right on top of each other. Let's check them out side by side, and of course, let's look at the SPECTO data.
In the final shot, these balls were thrown almost identical to one another, with just the laydown board being the difference. This projects the Infinity out just about 1 board more. While the Infinity had more overall hook and hook power, you can see the ball started rolling more forward at the end, causing it to deflect more through the pins.
All right, that's all for the comparison on the Infinity versus the Radical Outer Limits. I thought they were pretty close. What did you guys think? You know, when you get into these class of bowling balls where they're asymmetrical, they're fairly similar numbers, you know, every brand's gonna have its reaction chart to fill out, and these ones are very close to one another. So tell me what you guys thought in the comments. What did you guys think? Which one looked better, or were they too close to call? Anyway, if you guys got any other ideas for other videos, other comparisons you want to see, drop them in the comments below. We might be able to do it for you. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that as well. Talk to you guys soon.